Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, your Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is March 24th, and today we're going to take a look at this system moving into the Pacific Northwest. Category 1 atmospheric river, going to bring a couple of rainy days to portions of western Washington, Oregon, and British Columbia. And the amounts will increase as you go further north out of Washington and British Columbia. Some pretty good amounts for the coastal ranges in Vancouver Island. We'll take a look at the rest of the country briefly. You can see the infrared satellite imagery here, the system moving off the east coast here that brought the tornadoes through Texas, Mississippi, and Louisiana. And you can see it's kind of dragging across Florida here as it exits the east coast. You can see the intertropical convergence zone down here near the equator. You can see the trade winds affecting Hawaii. Nice, beautiful weather there. And you can see our cold air spilling out over the Gulf of Alaska here. It continues to bring us systems in through the Pacific Northwest. Look in the southern hemisphere here, you can see they're going into their fall and winter season now. So the direct rays of the sun are now moving north of the equator, and that brings us our spring and summer seasons. So checking out around the rest of the country here, breezy across the northern plains. The weak system moves by. Some winter weather concerns up in the northeast. Fire danger down there in southern and western Texas, but not much to speak of for active weather across most of the U.S. except for our weather here, which we're going to be bringing an atmospheric river into the area. Again, it is weak though. So checking out here, this is the vertically integrated vapor transport, And taking a look at it here, you can see this atmospheric river start to impact us really about Saturday morning and just hangs on long enough to be considered an atmospheric river. Really, it's borderline at best, but it is going to bring some rain to western portions. So you can see the stronger low kind of dive down towards Southern California. Some cold air gets cut off and brings them some much needed rain for the Central Valley and Southern California down there. We'll take a look at some amounts here too. This gives an example here too of how this cold air aloft kind of gets cut off from the main jet stream, kind of meanders down around California and brings them that much needed precipitation. So checking out total precipitation amounts, you can see as we're going into Saturday morning here, the precip starts building up over western Washington. Not heavy amounts for the lowlands by any means, but the coastal range is getting some pretty good rain out of this. And you can see it misses Oregon for the most part until about Sunday night into Monday. The Oregon Cascades and the coastal range start getting a little bit, eastern Oregon, but you can see eastern Washington mainly dry, as this low mainly brings precipitation out of the Central Valley, and really the Southern California mountains are getting some pretty good precip. That could even bring some localized flooding down through there if those amounts verify. And you can see the good precipitation amounts for the British Columbia mountains and the coastal range, Vancouver Island there too. So let's go ahead and jump right into the European. This also shows this area of cold air. You can see it dive down and eventually get cut off and dive down into California, bringing them their system. So the European agrees with that as well. And going on into the future here, you can see this would be Wednesday's system here as it swings through. And this could bring some thunderstorm potential on into Wednesday afternoon, especially in a convergence zone across Puget Sound. Depending on the timing of this cold air moving over us too, the afternoon could be pretty good on Wednesday if you're looking for some convective activity. And this could even spread into portions of eastern Washington as well. And so let's take a look at the systems as they move through here, according to the European here. And you can see as we go into Saturday morning, that precip starts for western Washington. Looks like a little bit better precipitation amounts, more of an atmospheric river on the European here as we go into Thursday afternoon and night. And then the precip kind of cuts off there Sunday morning. Oh, no, it continues on in through Sunday afternoon here. It lingers. So it looks like a pretty rainy weekend coming for areas of western Washington and portions of western Oregon as well. As you see, the system really brings some good precip amounts down through California, and the Sierras getting some snow at the higher elevations here and some much needed rain down for Southern California. So that will be helpful for them. Then you can see another system well on into, that's the stronger front moving on in through Wednesday, and the colder air behind that feeding some mountain snows all the way through the Rockies, Cascades, even down through Oregon, British Columbia as well. And then looking at the 10,000 foot temperatures here in the European, this kind of shows, this will highlight that cutoff low for California too. You can see it swing down there and get meander over California. And this is Wednesday's system. You can see that pretty chilly air move over the Pacific Northwest here. That would bring our thunderstorm threat here through next week. And then on the extended, we might get some, the European kind of hinting at some ridging after that. So maybe we'll start to get some more spring-like weather in the extended. There's always hope for that, but I wouldn't count on it just yet. We'll have to see how that goes in the models here. So checking out the heights, this goes way out into the extended here. You can see that atmospheric river condition starting up Saturday morning here with the tight gradient. And typically in atmospheric rivers, we get this high pressure over the Great Basin here and the low pressure out over the Pacific. And that gradient brings some subtropical moisture up over us. And you can see that low move down, or the colder air move down over California here. And then our next stronger front moves through Wednesday, and maybe some ridging will build up. This troughing opens up over the west, and some ridging, kind of hinting at it a little bit. But another deep low in the extended of the European going down for Southern California. So maybe we'll make up for some of that precipitation deficit down there, especially through the Central Valley. The agricultural areas down there are really needing precip. So maybe the storm train will remain active for them down there. And this would also keep an active pattern for severe weather across much of, eastern portions of Oklahoma, Texas, on in through the southeast here, if this would verify as well as systems continue to move through the area. Now, something I wanted to check out here. You can see this is going to highlight. Actually, let's go back to this. This is for Wednesday afternoon. So this is Thursday afternoon. You can see how the temperatures are warming up pretty good down here in Willamette Valley into eastern Washington, portions of eastern Oregon. Getting pretty warm here. Going to Friday again, up into the 60s. Not a bad day for the Puget Sound as well, up towards 60 degrees, possibly before this next system rolls in Saturday morning. And then Saturday morning, it warms up pretty decently in eastern Washington as well, as we're getting the clouds and we're getting rainfall here in the western portions of the states. Willamette Valley, not too bad though as well. So if you want to get out of the Puget Sound, the murky clouds and light precipitation, you want to go to eastern Washington, eastern Oregon. Even down the Willamette Valley is going to have better weather than we will here in the Puget Sound. Going on into Sunday, check it out, eastern Washington, portion of eastern Oregon, Idaho, warming up nicely, possible low 70s. Get in towards Monday as well, decent temperatures. Look at Tuesday, upper 60s, close to 70, maybe a nice warm day through the Puget Sound, even through Tuesday. I'm kind of highlighting this area over here in eastern Washington too, because I was thinking about doing some dust devil chasing even. If we check this out, you'll notice some of the relative humidity values are starting to drop off a little bit there in eastern Washington. That's what you need for dust devils. This would be none night. I'd probably target the Tri-City areas, maybe Yakima, and try it out down there. So you can see it gets pretty dry here for Tuesday. Check this out. The relative humidities are pretty low. So I might go do a little dust devil chase. This is Sunday night. You need light winds for dust devils here too. As we go into Tuesday, you can see the winds are pretty light across the area. So it might be a day worth going over there and checking out. Anyway, that was my dust devil forecast for the day here. Looks like we might get some of those chances coming up here through spring. You can see Seattle, Tacoma, maybe a warm day on Friday tomorrow. So we'll have to check that out in advance of that next atmospheric river, which cools us down over the weekend. Then maybe another nice day into early next week. And then perhaps some ridging off in the distance here in the extended. So there's hope for spring here for the Pacific Northwest. Check out Yakima. You can see how they're warming up. They're generally warmer than western Washington now. So looking on at the extended as well, I don't know what this cool down is about exactly. That's probably that system moving through on Wednesday here. So just kind of highlighting that, but that can still change. We'll watch out for that system rolling through here on Wednesday as well. Seattle, Tacoma looks like a little bit breezy with that system moving through on Wednesday, but nothing out of the ordinary at all. Generally, the mean is just below 30 miles per hour. So nothing special on our horizon as far as high winds for the Pacific Northwest as of now. That can change though. The pattern is generally active across the Gulf of Alaska, so we'll see how that develops. This is Pendleton. You can see it gets a bit breezy with that frontal system moving through on Wednesday as well, so we'll have heads up for that, but nothing out of the ordinary, especially for out there. They're used to that. So yeah, atmospheric river coming through this weekend. The potentially a stronger frontal system moving through on Wednesday with thunderstorm potential across the Pacific Northwest. So we'll keep our eyes on that, and we'll watch out for these warming temperatures, eastern portions of the state. Might be nice to go out there for the weekend if you have the weekend off and go enjoy some of those warmer conditions over there. It's definitely going to be much more sunny than it will be on the western portions of the Cascades, especially western Washington and BC. We're going to be locked in the clouds this weekend. So get out there and enjoy that. Or if you love the rain, head out towards the rainforest this weekend too, the Hoh Rainforest up there on the western slopes of the Olympic Mountains, and enjoy that nonstop rain during the weekend. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day. Get out and enjoy the weather, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.